Okay, so I think we're just going to start now. If there's more people, then I'll just admit them throughout. So today we're going to make Basque cheesecake. I think Mei, she sent out the recipe earlier. If you don't have the recipe yet, just let me know and then I can give you instructions on that. And first step we're going to do is preheat your oven to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. I think I'm going to, it'll be better if people can turn on their camera so I can see what you're doing. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna, yeah, and if you have any question, you can just unmute yourself, let me know, or you can type in the chat box. Okay, I see that user 83 doesn't have a camera. That's okay. If you have any questions, just type in the chat box. And then I'm going to unmute you for now. Yes, 420 degrees. Okay. So once you're ready, the first thing we're going to do, I have 4 eggs. If you're doing 6-inch, you should have 2 eggs. First thing, you want to bring your eggs to room temperature. And there is a faster, if you don't have your eggs in room temperature already, there is a faster way, and is you put warm water in the eggs. So here I have the eggs, and I'm just going to get some warm water, or just room temperature water would be good too. And then here, let me see if you can see it. And then you just put the eggs in it like that, and it'll bring it down to room temperature faster. And then we would also need room temperature cream cheese. Here, if you have refrigerator cream cheese, then you can put it in a microwave. Usually cream cheese comes in like a foil package. Let me find one. I can show you. Yeah, so usually cream cheese comes in this type of package, and this is not microwave safe, so it's better if you can put it, you should put it in a plate and then just microwave for like 15 to 20 seconds, and it should be room temperature. Okay. Yes. Do you run the eggs underwater? Yes, the eggs are underwater like this here. And if you're over a little bit, that's okay. And then how much cream cheese? So Alex, if you're making a 6-inch, it would be about 8 ounces of cream cheese. Or if you have gram, that would be 250 around that. And if you're making 9-inch, just double that. Okay. So is there a way? Yes, you can run. You can run the egg underwater. I have the eggs right here. So just put it under a little bit of warm water, not hot water, because then it will cook. Just warm water a little bit, and then that'll be good. Okay. I'm going to mute you guys. So Angela, if you're working on a 6-inch cake, then do 2 eggs. If you're doing a 9-inch cake, then you should do 4 eggs. Let me unmute so I can hear.
Had a 6. 这样子難，即係。
Okay.
所以下次他们要一个 9 inch 2层，我就弄1层8 inch 1层10 inch。
下回啥时候？
做那上面的 cheesecake。
So if you guys are ready, then we can start with cream cheese. Just let me know if you're ready or not.
大就有点小。
可是要2层啊。
为啥？
那如果要2层，
我觉得大家先把自己 mute 了，然后有问题的时候直接 unmute， 然后问问题，这样 Allan 不用一直在 check 那个 chat。
Okay. Angela, you need 250 grams of cream cheese. If you're or 8 ounces, it will be 1 standard cream cheese package. And if you're doing a 9 inch, then you would need to double that. So you need 2 packages, 16 ounce or 500 grams. Okay, so now we're going to start. First step is you put the cream cheese into a mixing bowl. And then add the sugar. Let me know once you're ready. So, Alex, 6 inch is 2 eggs. So right now I have a mixing bowl with cream cheese and just some sugar in it. You're going to get a hand mixer like this, or KitchenAid is also works, or you can do a whisk. How much sugar? This is for if you're, let me see. So if you're doing a 6 inch, use 60 grams of sugar. And that in terms of cup is a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons.
Could you repeat the amount of sugar again?
Yes. Let me type that in here so it'll be easier. Okay, I think that's 2. And then once you're ready, you just take a hand mixer. Actually, I'm just gonna wait for everyone to be ready. Okay, I think we're gonna move forward from there. If you need to catch on, then just unmute yourself and let me know that, you know, we can wait for you for a little bit. And then you would take a hand mixer and then turn it on to about medium speed, or high also works. Just to turn it on medium speed actually, and then just mix until they're all incorporated. Just gonna do that, please.
video 就上来哈。 Allen，你那 mix 的是什么东西？
Yes.
那里面是 cheese 和什么东西？你在 mix 的
Just whipping cream.
Cream cheese.
这声音怎么会这么断断续续的？听不见。
Cream
cream cheese 和什么东西？
Cream cheese 和糖。
哦，和 sugar 是吧？啊
放在一起，
和糖。
是这个。
知道了，知道了。就 cream cheese 加糖是吧？没有别的呢，还不加鸡蛋呢。
没有。
好。
那个勺子吗？啊，在那里。对。
Mix for about 2 minutes, and then so it doesn't need to be too whipped. This is the consistency you're looking for, just for sugar and cream cheese to be combined. And so cream, we don't need whipping cream yet. Whipping cream's here. We're going to add that later. And then you can use your rubber spatula to wipe the sides for everything to be well incorporated. Like that. This is what you're looking for. Mix for 2 minutes at medium to medium high speed. Okay, so after that, we're going to take eggs that you put under water, or if you have room temperature already. If you run it under water, you're going to dry it with a paper towel so that you don't get any excess moisture in there. Here are the 4 eggs. And then we're going to add into this mixture one by one. So you're going to add first 1 egg, crack 1 egg into the mixture. And then if you're worried about getting shells into your mixture, you can crack it into a bowl first. Make sure there's no shell and then pour it into the bowl. And then after you add 1 egg in here, you're going to mix that until it's well incorporated. So after 1 egg, it should be a lot creamier and a little bit more yellow. So Aiden asked if we have added a whipping cream yet. Not yet. We still have the whipping cream unmixed. Right now, we only have this bowl should only have cream cheese, sugar, and 1 egg. And then after you have well incorporated the 1 egg, add the other eggs one by one. Add 1 and then mix, and then add another one. After each egg, it should take about 30 minutes of mixing time. So right now, I have added 2 eggs, and you can see it's already a lot creamier. So yes, you do add the egg white. You need whole eggs. And this is a lot creamier. So if yours is not like this, it's a more like granule-like. That means your cream cheese is not very the cream cheese is still too cold, you should just keep mixing, and then it should come to room temperature later. And then now I'm just gonna finish and add the remaining eggs. I'm doing 2 6-inches, so I have double the rest. Make sure every time after you have mixed the eggs to wipe the side with a rubber spatula, so then everything is well incorporated. Okay, and then I have one more. Mix that in. Okay, and this should be the consistency. Do you need the other egg? So if you're making a 6-inch, you only need 2 eggs. And if you're making a 9-inch, you need 4 eggs. So yeah. This should be the consistency after mixing. It should be yellow, but it's still a creamy yellow. Very pale yellow. And you shouldn't have a lot of bubbles on there. You don't want that bubble because so we're making Basque cheesecake today. It has a burnt or caramelized outside, and it should be a dense cake. Think of like New York cheesecake, but a little bit denser than that. Then now we're going to add the whipping cream right here. And if you're making a 6-inch, you need 125 milliliters. And if you're making a 9-inch, you need 250. Or in Can everyone turn on your camera so I can see what step you're at? 可以把你们的那个镜头给打开吗？因为我看不到你们在哪个步骤。Okay, Alex, how many grams, which one are you asking? For the whipping cream, it will be 125 milliliters. So if you have a measuring cup, it should say 125 or half a cup. And if you're making a 9-inch, it will be 1 cup or 250 milliliters. So today, let me just talk a little bit about the Basque cheesecake. We're making a Basque cheesecake. This is it originated from Spain, and this is very different than your standard New York cheesecake or Japanese cheesecake. The New York cheesecake is known for being more dense, but it has a light color and it's a little bit sour. And the Japanese cheesecake, it's known for being very light and fluffy. And you shouldn't have, it shouldn't be too much of a cream cheese taste. And this one, Basque cheesecake, I would say it's the most dense of it, but it's different than New York cheesecake that it's also known as a burnt cheesecake. It almost looks brown to black on the outside, and that brings a unique flavor to the cheesecake. And in terms of denseness, this is probably more dense than New York cheesecake, but it doesn't have lemon juice, so it's not sour like the New York cheesecake. Madeline, yes, once you have finished mixing your egg, you would mix in the whipping cream. So if you have finished mixing your egg already, we're just going to add this whipping cream into the egg mixture. Just add all of it in. And then whisk or mix for a little bit until it's well incorporated. Let me show you. It should be, the mix should be very, very liquidy now and very pale. Let me see if I can. Very pale in color. Almost like a omelet mixture with some cream in it.
请问我们要有多少
Whipping
whipping cream？
cream, 你是6 inch 还是9 inch? 8 inch? 那你就 double. You should 250 milliliters, 250 ml, or 1 cup. You should put it into a measuring cup so then you can know. And this is what you're looking for, okay? Pale yellow. Clean up a little bit. Okay. Let me know if you guys need more time or we can move on. Yes, it's half a cup for a 6 inch. And then the next step, it's an optional. We're going to add the flour. This is optional. There's an optional strainer. You can sift it and it will make a smoother cake. If you don't have a strainer, then you can just add the flour into the mixture. What consistency should we beat it to? So for the eggs, you should just make sure everything is well incorporated. You don't need to beat it to any stage, just until you see a uniform color and consistency. How much flour? So for a 6 inch, you would need 1 tablespoon and half a teaspoon. 1 tablespoon plus half a teaspoon. If you are making a 9 inch or an 8 inch, do 2 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. I can put that on here. Okay. And then, so for sifting flour, if you don't have a sifter or strainer, Alex, I typed it into, let me, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me send this to everyone. Okay, so that should take care of flour. So when this is another lesson actually. Let me get some flour. So when you're getting flour, make sure you use another like a spoon or something else to level it. I don't have a measuring spoon. So you're going to, like for example, this, if I were to use this, then I would take another spoon and grab the flour and then drop it in there. Don't use your spoon, don't use your scoop and then go in and mix it and take it like this, because flour is very light, and this, you're packing it, because you can see that you can like, there's this amount. I can grab this amount of, way more than how much I should get, and then I can use a spoon, still pack it in there, so it's very dense. Make sure when it says 1 tablespoon, you're using another spoon, and then level it in there. Just drop it in there, and then use like a fork, or the back of a fork, knife, something to, or just something straight to mix it on top, so then it's flat, and you should get a perfect 1 tablespoon. That's the same thing for brown sugar, a little bit different. So for brown sugar, usually when they ask for a cup, you will need to pack it. So you should, for brown sugar, you would mix more than it, and you pack to make sure it's firm, whatever the measurement it is. We're not using brown sugar today. Okay, is there any other question? You can crush them with your fingers? I'm not sure what you're referring to. So for the flour, like I said, you can definitely pack it down more, but when we're doing proper measurement, make sure that you're dropping everything from top, not packing it and scooping like that. That's incorrect. It should be more. It would end up more than what they were asking for. So for Aiden asked, what type of flour do we use? I am using all-purpose, but cake is definitely better and not bread. So the difference between all-purpose cake and bread is cake has the least amount of protein in there, which would make it less elastic. And for a cake or a Basque cheesecake, for example, you would want the least amount of gluten in there, so it doesn't taste chewy. But for bread flour, that has the most amount of protein, which is what makes it chewy and elastic. And for all-purpose, it's the reason why it's called all-purpose because it's in the middle. So you could use it for bread or cake. But definitely, if you're doing professional baking, cake would work better for pastries, and bread would work better for breads. And then for sifting, we're going to add the flour into the strainer like this, and then you're just going to use the palm of your hand and then just tap it. So then it kind of looks like it snows, and then just get everything in there. And then you can see that it's sifting the small granules out. You don't want a lot of granules in there. Everything should be fine. It should be, so once you've sifted it in, it should, okay, oh, this is okay. It should look like powder or snow. And then just use you shouldn't use a whisk, because once flour is added, it would add gluten to the mixture already. So you should just use your rubber spatula, or a wooden spoon will work well too. And then just mix it. Just stir it, and then just make sure you don't see any more flours or clump. Okay, this is what it should look like. Okay. And then our next step, once you're done mixing, we're basically done for the cake mixture. It's very easy, you just mix everything. And then next step we'll be preparing the cake pan. So once you should get things cleaned up a little bit, And then grab some parchment paper. And you don't need to spray anything. There's no need for oil spray. Okay, so now we're going to line the baking pan. So here I have a parchment paper, and I have two 6-inch pans, and I'm going to grab the parchment paper, and then just use about a little bit over the pan. So I have the pan about this size, and it should be bigger because you want to leave some edges on the side. So this is the size, this is a pan, and this is the size of parchment paper. Okay, and then our next step, we will need to crush the parchment paper and unroll it. So now it's a lot more pliable. You can put it in, ease it into your baking pan. And then make sure to put your fingers down on the edges to make sure that the parchment paper is going to all sides. And then you also want to make sure that the parchment is over the sides of the pan. So here I have the parchment paper, and it's secured inside my pan with it in all the edges. And then now you're going to take your scissors and then trim off the excess edges. But leave some side, leave a little bit. Just like this. So you're leaving some edges on the side, but it's going over the pan, but not too much, like that. I'm going to line. If you missed that part, I will do it again. So you're going to take some parchment and then put it over, a little bit over the pan. Grab the parchment, crush it, and unwrap it. And then gently ease it in. You can use a fist or just all of your fingers to push all the parchment into the edges. Also, remember to push on the sides too, to make sure the parchment is very secured in there. And the next step, we're going to trim. Okay, so I have another line pan. Let me know if you have any questions. And then our next step, this is optional, but if you have a strainer from before, if you don't have a strainer, you can skip this step. But if you do have the strainer from before, grab another mixing bowl and then put the strainer in it like this. It should stand on there like this. and then pour your mixture over. So this ensures that you make sure you don't have any flour granules or anything in there, and then your cake will come out very smooth. So I have the mixture here, and then I'm just going to pour this in. You don't have to pour all of it in all of them at the same time. You can just, pour it until it's full. Use your rubber spatula to go in and then kind of push everything. Help it go through the strainer. And this also makes sure that you don't have any unmixed cream cheese in there. So you wouldn't have a clump of cream cheese when you're eating the cake. Like that when it gets clean, and then you can add the remaining cream cheese batter. So add all of it gradually, and then mix everything in. This is good when you're making batter, that when you're sifting through, you're making sure that there's no extra air pockets or there's any unmixed bits that you don't want in there, because your cake might end up not mixed well, and then some places would be very dry with a pocket of flour, or some places would be very dense or wet. And then, so I almost have everything. Then this is the last batch. Just push everything through to make the process faster. And then also, if you mix before and you accidentally drop eggshells in there, clean mixture, very nice, well-mixed mixture. You can pour it in there. Just fill all of it in. And make sure you don't miss any extra ones. Just use your rubber spatula to help you. You can ask your parents to help you also in this step. Just get everything in there. You don't want to miss any of this cheesecake. Okay. So now I have these two. Let me show you guys. I have these two cheesecake pan all filled up. And then this is another extra step, but you can take a toothpick, and then to go around the top, I will wait for you guys to do this step to finish. I can turn that for a while. Okay. Make sure after you finish baking, you should help your parents clean all of this, because you don't want to leave a mess for them to clean up for you. You want to enjoy your dessert together, right? So once your oven is ready, again, it's at 400, it should be at 420 degrees. And actually, let me talk a little bit about the oven. So your oven has some functions, some basic functions like baking, also has convection baking or just pure convection. Convection means wind. It has a fan there. It would start blowing wind if you use the convection option. Once you use the convection option, it will speed up baking a lot, and you should use it at a lower temperature. So we're just using baking today, and that's the standard heating up. It has a heat metal from on the bottom, and that's what heats up. And you also have a broil option, and the broil option, you can think of it as a standard, like a stove fire, but from above. So it is very hot. Make sure you don't touch. Once I had a glove, I was using a kitchen mitten in there, and it just melted the kitchen mitten. So very, very hot. Let me know if you guys have any questions, okay?
是不是现在要放到 oven 里去啦？刚才没听清。
等你的就所有的都弄好了，你的 oven 也 ready 了，那你就可以放进去了。
哦，好的。
Can I put it inside, please?
然后 if you're making a 6-inch, bake for 35 to 40 minutes. If you're making a 9-inch, bake for around an hour, 50 minutes to an hour or more. The color comes out to be brown, almost black on the outside. Burnt. Normally you would think of it as burnt, but this is good for this cake, and that's what you're looking for. So if you have doubt that it should be a little bit longer, or you still see some yellow on top, just keep baking until it looks brown.
Allan，
Yes.
他们那个要不要，比如说插个东西进去看看它里面是不是熟了？要怎么测试它时间到了呢？
不需要，就像我刚刚说的，我用中文再说一遍。如果这个蛋糕 bake 了以后，要看起来是咖啡色或者是黑色，就是非常焦的颜色，那就是说明它好了。如果上面还有一点点黄，就是像普通蛋糕一样的黄颜色的话，就说明它还没有好，就让它继续在里面再多放一会儿，让它就是咖啡到黑色，那就是好了。然后在那个时候呢，不需要插进去，因为它其实已经全熟了。
好的，好的，谢谢。
After you finish baking, refrigerate this cake until it's completely cooled down. Usually for at least, I would think 4 hours. And it'll be best if you refrigerate overnight.
老师，那个烤好以后是直接就放冰箱吗？还是要等它自然冷却后？
让它在室温里面降低温度了以后再放进冰箱。如果它很烫的话，进冰箱的话对冰箱不是很好。
好的，请问一下，刚才你一直强调就是在 mix 它的时候要成那个 pale color，这个 pale color 是为什么我打出来的是黄色，你打出来的是 pale color 的呢？
是黄的，我就是很淡的黄色。这个颜色跟你鸡蛋本身也有关系。如果你鸡蛋本身偏红的话，它颜色也会深一点。但主要呢就是一个淡黄色，然后不需要 over mix 它。里面有 whipped cream， so 它会越打越稠，但是你这个 cake 是不需要它更稠，而是像我们刚刚最后过筛也是需要它没有更多余的空气在里面。
好的，谢谢。
Allen，你要不要再说一下6 inch 和9 inch 都要烤多长时间？我看有人问。
Okay, 6-inch, 35 to 40 minutes, 35到40分钟 and you can adjust it to be longer or shorter. It depends on when the cake gets brown. And for a 9-inch, it would be 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes. And you can adjust the time also. So for a 6-inch, I would set the timer to be 35 minutes and then check on that if you need to add more time. And then for a 9-inch, set timer for an hour and then check. 8-inch is the same thing. Eight inch is the same thing as 9 inches. So just do an hour.
好的，那如果大家都把那个蛋糕已经放到烤箱里了，我们是不是就是这个课就结束了？
是的。
然后大家自己去到时间了把 cake 拿出来，是吧？
对的，所以我再说一下，现在这个 cake 呢，它等到你 bake 出来的时候，会有一个像个 dome 一样，是上面有一个全部抛出来这个样子，然后呢，有点像 souffle， 但是呢，你放在室温里放一会儿，它就会全部都陷下去，这是正常的。So once you finish baking the cake, it will come out like a dome shape, and that's normal. And then after you put it in room temperature for a while, everything would deflate. Don't be scared. That's what the cake is supposed to look like.
Allen， 那个1个小时之后呢，是在烤箱里面等着它慢慢凉呢，还是1个小时就马上拿出来？
拿出来，一烤完以后呢，等你看它就已经全部都已经是 brown 的时候，就把它拿出来。
就从烤箱拿出来，不用放在烤箱里再过半小时什么的。
不要这样。
只要 brown 了，就把从烤箱拿出来，放室温变凉哈。
室温变凉以后再放进冰箱里。
然后在这之间都用这个pan，不需要把它那个从pan里拿出来，不需要把现在一直放冰箱里，都在这个同样的一个盘里，在烤盘里，对吧？
是的。
一直从冰箱拿出来要吃的时候，再把盘去掉就可以了。
对，你因为这个你旁边已经有 parchment 了，所以本它拿出来应该是很简单的，你就把它从整个就是可以直接应该是拿起来。
哦，知道了，谢谢 Allen。
Allen 好像刚才说是将近黑色，烤到要将近黑色才是好了。蓝方。
一个深咖啡色，有点像焦糖的颜色。然后等到它就是稍微有一点点黑没关系，但绝对不要完全黑，就是一个焦糖的颜色，有些地方黑也是没问题的，但是就是不要黄色。
好的，那谢谢 Allen。然后那个大家因为要自己等它烤完了拿出来，我们现在就是看不到最后的成果了。大家烤完之后，如果能照个照片儿，或者发到小大师群里，或者直接回我的 email， 我的 email 里面是 CC 了 Allen 的，把你们的照片发给 Allen 也看一看，让他看看大家的成果，也一起高兴，好吧 ？Allen， 你还有别的要嘱咐大家的吗？
没有了，这个就是我觉得这是个很简单的一个 cheesecake， 而且比 cheesecake 啊什么的都方便很多，你就把所有的东西 mix 在一起，基本上就好了。第一次比较可能会步骤有点多，但是你多做几次，你就会了解了。然后呢，我也非常喜欢，其实我所有 cheesecake 里面这个是我最喜欢吃的。然后。对，我有的时候也会把它跟什么酱啊，像草莓酱什么，或者跟巧克力酱一起吃，也是非常好吃。谢谢你们。
好的，谢谢 Allen。
好的，
谢谢 Allen， 谢谢。
好，谢谢 Allen， 我们等着看大家的最后的成品照片啊。
发照片给我，好，谢谢。
好的，谢谢，拜拜。
拜拜。